Somebody made a UFO movie so realistic that for years people were convinced it was captured footage of an actual alien abduction.
And we admit, even we were fooled.
Let's get into the McPherson Tape, the urban legend surrounding it, and the real-life close encounter that inspired the film. The McPherson Tape is a 1989 abduction horror movie made by a then-aspiring filmmaker named Dean Alioto. It's notable for being one of the first ever found footage movies, arriving a decade before the Blair Witch Project put the genre on the map. It's an eerie, no-budget horror flick made for $6,500 and clocking in at barely an hour long. The film's grainy, lo-fi look, no-name cast, and lack of editing tricked viewers into thinking they were watching an actual home movie. The film takes place in 1983, and 16-year-old Michael, played by Alioto, is in love with his brand new handheld camera. He refuses to put it down, and the entire film plays out in one long take from his camera's point of view. Again, at the time, nobody had heard of found footage movies, so the McPherson Tape's dimly lit handheld footage and improvised dialogue created the illusion of authenticity. Michael's family resides in an isolated patch of forest in the Connecticut mountains, and they've gathered for a birthday party. But their carefree evening of food and fun soon turns into a desperate fight for survival. When the power goes out, Michael and his brothers go outside to check the breakers and notice strange lights in the woods. To their astonishment, they discover a landed UFO and 3 small humanoid creatures. The creatures spot the brothers. With those giant black eyes, how could they not? And the guys flee in terror. They run home to lock the doors, shut the windows, and load their guns. But their efforts won't be enough to stop the alien invaders from getting inside. The McPherson Tape delivers 60 minutes of spine-tingling fun. There are a few reasons why this movie works so well. First off is the pacing and tension. The story takes its sweet time building suspense. You feel the alien presence more than you see it. Like the shark in Jaws, feeling them lurking just beyond the frame creates a constant sense of stomach-churning dread. Alioto made this film for $6,500 and couldn't afford believable alien costumes and other flashy special effects. He kept the creatures out of the story by necessity. That works so well because an unknowable monster lurking in the shadows gets under your skin more effectively than a CGI creature or a person wearing a rubber suit. If there's one thing we've learned in the 30 years since the film's release, it's that people love reality shows. The messier, the better. This movie appeals to the same spot in our lizard brain that lights up watching a car wreck on the highway. It's horrific, but we just can't look away. It scratches the same itch as watching a trashy reality show, but with the cheap thrills of a Saturday night creature feature. Alioto does an excellent job maintaining the film's illusion. There aren't any over-the-top monologues from the actors or all-too-convenient plot twists to make events seem fake. It legit feels like you're watching real people in peril. And it's impossible not to think about what you would do if you were in Michael's shoes. The character's desperate fight for survival and the bleak ending haunted me after I turned off the movie. I 100% understand this is a work of fiction, but I guarantee you this movie will cross my mind the next time I'm staying in a cottage outside of the city. The McPherson Tape's naturalistic performances and found footage presentation work to a fault. And even in 2023, people believe the film contains authentic evidence of alien visitors, despite the film's director and cast debunking these wild claims. So how did this happen? Well, the facility housing the McPherson Tape's master copy burned down before the movie was released. It looked like all Alioto's hard work had gone up in smoke, and no one would ever have the chance to screen the film. But his tragedy turned to triumph when a few preview copies had gone out to some mom-and-pop video stores. Someone took the film, removed the film's title and credit sequences, and shared it among UFO enthusiasts. And the McPherson Tape became a viral sensation. Years later, Alioto learned the film was circulating among UFO buffs and stepped forward to clear up the confusion. But the McPherson Tape believers weren't hearing it and wrote off Alioto's admission as part of a government misinformation campaign. Basically, this was a UFO Twitter conversation 30 years before UFO Twitter. With the film achieving cult status, Dick Clark Productions swooped in and gave Alioto $1.5 million to produce his 1998 made-for-TV remake, Alien Abduction: Incident in Lake County. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the film covered in a future episode. As if the story surrounding this movie couldn't get any stranger, I've got another juicy tidbit for you. The McPherson Tape is based on an alleged real-life UFO encounter. Alioto grew up interested in UFOs, so when it was time to follow in his filmmaking hero's footsteps, an alien movie was the obvious choice. Whereas big-time directors like Steven Spielberg and Ridley Scott made their movie aliens cute sidekicks and scary primal beasts, he wanted to create a film that tapped into the real claimed experiences of the phenomenon. After being freaked out by Whitley Strieber's autobiography Communion, he pored over Bud Hopkins' work to capture details from people who claim they've been abducted. And the film pulls from those influences to introduce the typical short, gray, almond-eyed beings that are now a pop culture staple. But the film's structure comes from an infamous encounter known as the Kelly-Hopkinsville incident, or the Hopkinsville Goblin case. It took place on August 21st, 1955, in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, when the residents of a farmhouse reported being terrorized by a group of alien intruders. The witnesses described seeing 3-foot beings with bat-like ears, long arms, sharp claws, and giant eyes lurking on the property. These goblin-looking creatures stalked the home, climbing across the roof and peeking through windows. The farmers claimed to have shot at the creatures and reported hearing metallic pings as though their bullets were striking metal. When the police arrived on the scene, they only found evidence of gunfire. Whether or not you believe the family's account, the Kelly-Hopkinsville incident presents a thrilling home invasion story that's perfect for the silver screen. And Alioto weaved elements of the famous case into his no-budget alien invasion flick, and the rest is history. If you're not into found footage movies, the McPherson Tape won't be the one to change your mind. It's a slow burner that demands your patience and attention. It was strung together on a shoestring budget and it looks every bit the part, but that's a feature and not a bug. If you're willing to meet the film on its own terms, it's a total blast. The McPherson Tape was a decade ahead of its time and still holds up better than much of the derivative schlock littering the found footage genre these days. It's a tense home invasion thriller that asks us what happens when humans are no longer Earth's apex predators. This impressive feat of guerrilla filmmaking sends viewers on a chilling voyage into the depths of our most primal fears. But what's most disturbing is the UFO community's reception to the film, and the way it reveals how easily people cast aside facts that challenge the fiction they would rather believe.
I have a feeling that still that parts of that video may be 100% authentic.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the movie in the comments below, and please let me know what movies would you like to see me review on UFO Movie Club. Thanks for watching.